Greetings, I'm Michael Quinn Patton with a brief overview of alternative evaluation criteria for evaluating systems transformation. Transformation is the clarion call of our time. We have to move beyond project and program thinking and the criteria we've used to evaluate projects and programs if we are going to deal seriously with looking at transformation of systems. Systems transformation is different than projects and programs and requires different criteria. I've done a longer video discussing each of these criteria in greater depth. This is a short introduction to those alternative criteria. If we deal with criteria, we're dealing with the possibility of major systems transformation and evaluation's role in systems transformation. This means that we're looking at how major, dramatic, long-term, in-depth changes in actual systems occur. We know we are the first generation that is destroying the planet and the last generation that can do anything about it. Global problems that transcend national and agency boundaries include climate change, economic turbulence and inequities, more refugees than at any time since World War II, virulent infectious diseases like the coronavirus pandemic, dying oceans, polluted land, air, and water. The list goes on. And so each of these requires major systems transformations, not just projects and programs. And yet, for 50 years, we've been locked into a project program mentality. Planners, funders, implementers, commissioners of evaluation, and evaluators are all caught up in the plan your work your plan, evaluate the results, control mentality. But from a complex systems point of view, evaluating environmental ecosystem sustainability and global systems transformation is quite different than a project or program. And so we need different criteria for evaluating transformation. The logic of evaluation remains, as Michael Scriven laid it out, defining criteria that will be used to evaluate something, setting standards of performance on those criteria, measuring the actual performance, and synthesizing results to reach an evaluative judgment. The most widely used criteria in the world for the last 40 years, since originally developed in 1991, are the Oecd Dac Criteria, the Development Assistance Committee criteria. They call for looking at projects and programs through their effectiveness, their impact, their relevance in the context in which they're taking place, their coherence, their sustainability, meaning will the benefits endure, really a continuity criterion, and efficiency. But these criteria are intended to be used in evaluating an intervention, some intentional effort to create a change in the world. They are not a particularly useful tool for descriptive analysis of transformative change or systems change, as acknowledged by Oecd Dac itself. And so when we move from these traditional criteria of relevance, effectiveness, efficiency, impact, coherence, and sustainability, or continuity, what new criteria for evaluating transformation would come forth to deal with our global emergencies? As Peter Drucker said, if you want something new, you have to stop doing something old. And that means coming up with new criteria. Transforming evaluation, then, to evaluate transformation. I want to offer examples of criteria. This is not the definitive set. It's to open up our thinking about what alternative criteria might look like. Moving from these criteria to a new set of criteria, transformation fidelity, based on a theory of transformation, employing complex adaptive systems focus, resilient adaptive ecosystem sustainability, that is environmental sustainability, not just continuity, full cost accounting, not just doing efficiency of input-output analysis, but the effects of transformational change on the ecosystem, on human health, on social justice, including then diversity, equity, and inclusiveness as evaluation criteria, and finally what I've called interconnectedness momentum, the extent to which multiple players operating in multiple arenas, coordinating local, global efforts, micro, meso, macro, across silos, across SDGs, to create momentum towards tipping points and critical mass, assessing the extent to which trajectories toward transformation are actually occurring. So we're in a different game. We're not in the project program game when we're dealing with transformation. The transformation of systems is a different game and needs different criteria. Transformation fidelity criteria, a theory of transformation, complex systems thinking, full cost accounting, diversity, equity, inclusion, adaptive sustainability, and interconnectedness momentum. For a full discussion of each of these criteria, see the full-length video. But for now, I leave you with this thought that for the future of our lives together on this blue marble evaluation involves transcendent transformational criteria for evaluation to keep up with the changing world. And again, as the great management guru Peter Drucker said, the greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence, it is to act with yesterday's logic. Or, as I would say here, with yesterday's criteria.